disclaimer to our presentation this morning, because I want you to know that none of us are really experts, okay? We have been in the trenches with you. As a general rule, we aren't the ones judging at this point, but moving forward, we may be judging for other classes and other categories. We have had student winners, we have had student losers, okay? So we, like a judge, are simply one voice trying to help our students earn recognition for their awesome work. And before I even go any further, we have to thank NSAA truly for continuing the state journalism contest. They don't have to do that, and they don't have to have us as an activity, but clearly we know the value of our activity in our buildings, and it's awesome that the NSAA is giving us time and Taryn to make this possible, to move forward and keep getting recognition for our students who are doing all those other activities as well, but also doing journalism. So thank you. Yay! Okay. So we give you the criteria for judging from the manual, and we give you some suggestions, and we give you some samples, and we give you some tips, and then we tell you about the winners, that sort of thing. So I hope this will work. I don't need to read it to you because you can see it in front of you, but business ads is where advertising as a category started, but it's evolved over the years. So now we like to see and have seen a lot of in-school ads for club events and activities, the school play, the school musical, the prom, that sort of thing. I don't think, and this is my opinion, I don't think senior ads are really ads because the student didn't write the copy and the students didn't take the picture, okay? So that's just my preference there. But overall, the category is great because our students really understand advertising, whether or not you even sell ads. I don't sell ads. My yearbook and newspaper cannot sell ads because I'm a private school and they don't want the money to go to little things like that. So the parents can complain and say, we've already given, and so on. So, okay. But we create ads all the time. So these are some Class A qualifiers from this year. We have a couple for school productions. We have one to encourage journalism, like join journalism at Millard South. And then the Not Cool Dude, a PSA, public service campaign for a school. And then one business ad, Open Studio Ceramics. So you see a wide variety. And these are some of the top 8 from Class A that qualify. Question.
Are you going to share this slideshow with the examples?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're recording everything today, plus we'll put the presentation out to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
So I know this was my students and she qualified, and I made a note to the judge down here in the fine tuning details. Let's see if I can. I don't know. Can I zoom in? Maybe that's too hard. It might get too hard.
Okay.
Okay. But I wrote to the judge, student created the art, because in the category listing, it says you don't have to, but I think that helps the judge realize, oh, this student has a little more talent than just the average everyday pulling an image from somewhere else. And I don't know, this is David's school. Did your student create that completely? Okay. So hopefully the judge would assume that, like, this is student created, that is student created, because it makes a difference. It's hard to separate the design from the art, but sometimes that makes a difference. So this is the Class A.
Are you able to actually use like the copyright of the Beauty and the Beast in that?
You could have, yes, and submit that. But
It doesn't violate
Yeah, that's my
any
copyright.
copyright
Okay,
laws.
so you're
to do
talking
that?
like a production ad when your school gets the contract for using that story or that play, then you get it. Sometimes they pay for that, right? They get a copyright
Yes.
package. Okay, if you have that and have ownership for that, yes, you could use that. Yeah. Okay, but you'll see when we get to the next class, there's some different types. So these are Class B qualifiers. We have more business ads in this case. The smoothie place, the auto glass place, and a restaurant, Grandma's Kitchen. Okay, and then a state speech, which I would call a student ad. But I'm looking at that and I'm saying, where's the copy? You know, where's the story they're telling with that ad? I love the student art. And I know that student art because my students create similar stuff and I know how that happens. But like these, I don't know if the student took these pictures. I don't have any idea. So in our criteria, if you want to really promote your student, maybe say that to the judge. Down in the bottom, you know, I cropped up those things. This one has the yellow frame around it, which is what the rules tell you. If you have other things on the page, you can't remove to put the yellow frame around it. But these are good business ads and they are directed at the student audience, I would hope. good use of color, good use of design, that sort of thing. But they look different than Class A's, didn't they? Which is interesting. And I guess my philosophy might be in Class A in the metro area, you get ads pre-done from companies to put in your publication. So students aren't designing a lot of business ads in Class A. Okay, so it's Class B and Class C where the students get that opportunity to design where that happens. And these are some from Class C, one for state cheer. And then we get into some awesome sports ads, sports media ads used on social media. And I think they're great. And I think that's definitely criteria for something that you could think about submitting in the future. This bottom one is for their prom. Okay, we have to really zoom in to read it. But only one business ad, but it's a student who does custom woodworking, which is kind of cool. And then a coin challenge. This is probably the only one that I think had copy, had a little story with it. Some creative writing to get the patrons who want to do something. When you do one of these, when you do one of these for like a game day, I would be sure you tell us what the date is, because even if it came out on social media that day, I think you'd want to be able to refer back to it. So this I think is missing a date, but this has a date. January 5th has a time, has a place, which is really good. Yeah, so good examples. You can see from the variety, the judges probably had a tough time picking the winners. As the advisor, I told you I don't agree with all their choices, but I didn't see all the entries either, so I don't really know. On the rubric, which goes to page, after all the descriptions, the rubrics start on page, I'll get there, page 12. And we have revised these a little bit since the one that you're looking at online. We're looking at content, clearly identified relevant business, the goal, contact information. And I would say some of the 5 W's and the H in your ad, they need to be there. Organization, spelling, style, grammar, hierarchy, design hierarchy, space, font, color, graphics, photo choices, and overall effect. So if you look at the rubric on page 12, it had voice, so we changed that to design and added some criteria since it is a design category essentially. And then the overall effect, legal and ethical practices. I was going to mention when we go back to this one that had the money on it, I don't know if it's legal to copy money. That would be something, isn't it? Isn't there a legal problem? Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. But anyways,
if it was just like a single,
I don't know, but that would just be something to think about in the future. Have creative copy on the ad. So these are my suggestions or thoughts for future entries. Use color and typography to your advantage. If the student did create the art, I'd somehow indicate that, but maybe we can still probably put that in, slip that in. If a sports media ad, I'd put the date and the game location. If a program ad, I'd still put the contact info. If an ad designer did nothing but created nothing but the design, is still a valid entry. That's why I would never submit a tribute ad. So I'm thinking everything was given to you, and that's again why I think Class A is a little bit different. So they don't have those business ads. Yeah, just something to think about. If all parts of the ad, how does the judge know? So generic thoughts, state finals, love it. I love the way we do this, where you bring those 8 people in and they get a packet of information and they design their ad based on the same information at the same time limit. Ideally not using any other extra software. And so that's great. And then these were our 3 class winners from last year. So look at the variety and look at the creativity. Is it A, B, C?
Yeah.
Okay. So Class A's ad, Class B's ad, and Class C's ad, the same information. These guys are talented. And these are your kids. Good job. I'd hire any of them right away.